Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from the upcoming chapter. Boruto Chapter 77, as a reminder, drops tomorrow officially. Now, normally I'd wait until the whole chapter's out in order to talk about any type of spoilers, but this was one of those chapters where you cannot avoid talking about the ramifications of what just happened. Kawaki has finally betrayed Naruto, and we now have a situation where Kawaki is a marked man, and he knows that he's a marked man, but I don't think even Kawaki realizes what's about to come for him next now that Naruto's been sealed away. It's more than just Boruto and the other people in this class who are about to start looking for Kawaki. It's also going to be Sasuke, and there's enough foreshadowing there to make the argument that Sasuke is actually going to be Kawaki's next victim. Now, let's go ahead and just state the obvious. Kishimoto finally decided to rip the band-aid off after the manga has prolonged the inevitable betrayal of Kawaki, and our expectations were subverted due to Kawaki making Boruto and Himawari orphans by sealing away Hinata as well, which means Boruto never gets to see Hinata again after making that promise to her, which makes Momoshiki's words of "don't make promises that can't be kept" look a whole lot different now. However, where there's a power vacuum right now inside of Konoha, there's also a Shadow Hokage meant to step in to handle threats that the Hokage cannot, and in the last two chapters, Sasuke has mysteriously been missing in action, which doesn't seem like it's by mistake when you look at it. The absence of Sasuke is another brick layered into the story to either be a red herring for Sasuke versus Kawaki, or it's literally going to be another sign that Sasuke versus Kawaki is still going to occur. There is no in between. Either it happens or this has all been one giant red herring. When Sasuke learned that Boruto had been killed by Kawaki, Sasuke already took exception to this, saying that it should have been him who carried out that burden, and Sasuke went on to state that the next one who would have to show his resolve to protect the village would have to be Sasuke. Sasuke was not fond of the idea of containing Boruto and Kawaki into one area, likely because he sensed there was a chance that something would go foul, and when he sensed Momoshiki's presence, he got a deja vu warning to what happened when Boruto got the Karma Seal. Sasuke's instincts were just as on point as Kawaki's were, that something was wrong with Boruto, something was going on, but in the case of Sasuke, he couldn't prove it due to a lack of information. But ever since then, when he got that funny feeling, we've never seen Sasuke, which that is something telling. If Sasuke's still in the village or in the surrounding area, Shikamaru is going to have to update him on what happened to Naruto, because the sensory team is going to notice Naruto's chakra signature went missing, and even if somehow that team is just filled with a whole bunch of nishis where they're useless, Naruto's Hokage guard squadron is eventually going to realize that both Naruto and Hinata are missing, and Shikamaru is going to be smart enough to realize that Kawaki did something to Naruto just based off of the last conversation he had with him, likely realizing that his words of "think about what this would do to Naruto" caused Kawaki to remove Naruto from the equation outright altogether. Think about it. If you're Kawaki, Naruto couldn't handle seeing Boruto be killed off, so Kawaki removed Naruto to spare him from seeing Boruto being killed by Kawaki. That has the potential to lead to something we know happens in the future. Konoha is looking for Kawaki with a desperate sense of urgency, and he's clearly crossed lines. A manhunt is warranted after you seal away the Hokage and his wife. That's pretty much an act of war. That explains why everyone in Konoha was looking for him, but the blood on Kawaki's face and the rage that Mitsuki felt when he made him use his sage powers is enough to at least make us consider that possibly Kawaki's crossed other lines, especially because he's already got that horn, which means he's fought someone strong enough to force Kawaki into that transformation. That very well could be Sasuke. Now, the knee-jerk reaction is that if Mitsuki was this mad, then the likely scenario is that he did something to Boruto, but given Sumire heard Naruto and Kawaki talk about Kawaki killing Boruto, and Sumire happens to be there right now with Sarada, I think this answers that aspect. Sumire likely is going to spill what happened in the past to Sarada. Ada's likely going to be able to confirm it, which on top of Kawaki betraying Naruto, that's enough to rile them up, and you know she's not going to keep something like that from Mitsuki, just given how upset both of them were when they found out something happened to Boruto. However, situations like this where there's a powerful threat to the Hokage and to the village, these are the situations that are exactly why Sasuke was ultimately allowed out of prison and given the rope to do as he pleases despite being on probation. This is why you have that break glass and press the Sasuke button, because given where Kawaki is right now and the powers that he possesses in terms of Konoha Shinobi, Sasuke is the one that's just sending out there, especially since Kawaki is targeting Boruto. Sasuke is Boruto's master. Boruto is yet to be able to fully tap into Momoshiki's true power, something he's gonna need if he's gonna even hope to be able to contain Kawaki, because you can't kill Kawaki because you have to free Naruto. Kawaki, due to having had karma longer and having better control over Ishiki's powers, and if we take Naruto's actions into account, Naruto and Shikamaru both don't think that Boruto and Kawaki, even after that big battle they saw in chapter 66, they don't think they're strong enough to take on a threat that's stronger than Jigen. But Kawaki is growing more accustomed to those powers, and we see his dojutsu evolving in real time, which is implying even if he's not at the same level as Jigen or beyond Jigen, he's rapidly approaching it. If you look at it, he's now up to 5 spokes in his eyes. As a reminder, Kawaki's eyes, when it's fully matured, is going to have 8 spokes because it's going to have that Dharma wheel. That's going to be really important as we look at the Sasuke versus Kawaki battle. If you look at it from this perspective, if we look at the number of spokes in Kawaki's eye and correlate the number of spokes he has to the amount of power that Ishiki's vessel can draw out, that would mean that Kawaki is up to roughly 60% of the allotted power that a vessel can use, which isn't necessarily 60% of Ishiki's power, since we know that there's a gap between the power level of a vessel and what the actual Otsutsuki has, since it was stated more than once that the vessel is weaker than the Otsutsuki, but the vessel has access to all the knowledge and skills of the Otsutsuki. But the power, we are specifically told on 3 separate occasions that the vessel's weaker than the Otsutsuki. That's manageable if you have Sasuke and Boruto fight against Kawaki. They're the only Konoha shinobi who realistically can fight against Kawaki. You can make a very strong argument, which this will piss people off. I don't know why, but I know people have a soft spot towards Naruto. You can make a very strong argument. EMS Sasuke is stronger than Naruto without Kurama, and Boruto, if there were ever a time for him to be able to use Momoshiki's power properly and not just a sliver of that power, like we saw with Karma version 2 Boruto when he fought against Code, where there was enough of a power gap that Code wasn't convinced that Boruto could have killed Boro until Momoshiki took over and made Code eat those words. We're in a very similar situation here. He's gonna need that Momoshiki level of power without Momoshiki taking over if he's gonna be able to fight alongside Sasuke. Sasuke already has experience fighting against a Karma user, in particular the one that has Ishiki's abilities. He knows on top of ninjutsu being absorbed by Karma, it can also be strength by Kawaki's dojutsu, and Sasuke's Sharingan is the only dojutsu that we know of right now that can track Kawaki when he shrinks down to size. Boruto can sense where he is, but it's only a rough idea, and he can't fully pinpoint where he is just yet because Boruto obviously is still learning to use those Otsutsuki powers. However, if he's got Sasuke there, it does open up the door for them having a good chance versus Kawaki. But I want to take it a step further. Since Kawaki is clearly being positioned as the heel to this arc and Boruto is going to be our baby face, to use wrestling terms, you need to get Kawaki even more heat than he already has. Right now, Kawaki's simmering, but he don't have that I'm gonna jump through the screen and I'm gonna start screaming and shouting level of heat that you need for a villain with Boruto right now. And that's something that Boruto hasn't truly had. You've had Kawaki seal Naruto and Hinata away, which has left the fandom heartbroken. Now you need to take it a step further, especially now that Code has basically been regulated to somebody that keeps getting built up, but he doesn't have any heat. The idea to have Sasuke try and stop Kawaki alone, let them fight, and have Kawaki fully cross that line where it's going to be hard to forgive him. Have Kawaki be the one who kills Sasuke, making good on those words to Naruto that Shinobi will die, but having an ironic twist on it by having something like this take place. It's the perfect explainer for why Sasuke's sword and cloak are in Boruto's possession during the time skip. It explains Boruto's dedication to calling himself a shinobi, despite the fact that things look as bleak as they do. Most importantly, the heat that you would get for Kawaki makes him the antagonist that Code wishes he was. Code has that Ten Tails army and he feels like he's a threat, but Kawaki spiraling out of control in the way that he does, that truly feels like the threat, and that truly has the heat that we need, because we've had 50 plus chapters with the character Kawaki. We've been invested in the character. We have a reason to root for or against him depending on how you feel about him. We've seen his journey to a point where the reason for his betrayal hurts and we can see both sides of it, but also another reason why it hurts is that Naruto and Sasuke, they both made sacrifices for Kawaki, nearly getting killed by Ishiki, in the hopes to keep him alive. Sasuke taking on Kawaki from a narrative point of view, it isn't just to show that the older generation is being surpassed. It isn't just to say, oh, they're taking Naruto and Sasuke out the story. If you say that respectfully, you're just looking at this from the meathead narrative perspective. I'm not going to bring up the Samsara stuff. I'm not going to bring up how Boruto's a story of moving past the cycle of Samsara, because it shows Sasuke looking at a younger shinobi making the same mistakes that he did, where Sasuke knew that there was a problem when he was 13 years old, but he wasn't seeing the whole picture due to his emotions, and his youthful ignorance at that point in time did not allow him to see that the world had many shades of gray to it. Are the Otsutsuki a problem? Absolutely. Should they be stopped? Absolutely. But is it as simple as kill every Otsutsuki in existence? I'm not 100% sure that that's the case, because we've seen Otsutsuki be reformed like Toneri. We've seen that some Otsutsuki are involuntary Otsutsuki like Boruto and Kawaki. There's a sign, and there's enough signs there, that there's something more to the clan itself. There's a part of the picture that Kawaki isn't seeing despite him thinking he has the correct answer. Just as Sasuke once thought that hatred and power was the correct answer all those years ago when he went down the wrong path 19 years ago on the timeline. There's nobody better to try and to fail to crack Kawaki's shell than Sasuke Uchiha himself. Obviously, it's Boruto that has to do it, just as Naruto had to do it with Sasuke, but there's the opportunity there as well. Seal Naruto away in the hopes of having him be saved one day. Do the whole thing that Jujutsu Kaisen did with a very popular character. Kill Sasuke with the idea of him dying for the village, ironically bringing him full circle since he doesn't believe that his redemption arc is over, and show Boruto what it truly means to be Shadow Hokage. And it further locks in Momoshiki's prophecy to Boruto, which is that he's going to lose everything. This is a really good way to start that off. That being said, my question to you guys is, now that the band-aid has been partially ripped off, should Kishimoto just go full steam ahead and have Kawaki kill Sasuke in front of Boruto, or is it better to have Sasuke die in another way, perhaps leading to the unsealing of Naruto? While you think that over, click here to watch my Chainsaw Man chapter 118 review, or click here to watch this Naruto Explain video.